Hey algebra students, it's Miss Kill here. Last time we talked about how you can graph a line from a standard form equation. So basically, for something like number 9, I can plug in 0 into the y value in order to solve for the x-intercept. In this case, it would be x equals -5. And then I could plug in 0 to my x value in order to solve for the y-intercept, which in this case would be y equals 8. So up here. And then the last thing you would do is create a line that goes through these two dots. And that's how you would graph a line. Now let's look at something like number 10 and number 11. Do you notice how in these two equations, we don't have any x's in the equation? So how do we graph something that only has y in the linear equation? Well, let's try to solve for y, because that would still give us the y-intercept. If I divide both sides by 4, I would end up with the equation y equals 5. And since there are no x variables in this equation, that means that no matter what the x value is, the y is always at 5. So y equals 5 when x is 0, y equals 5 when x is 5, y equals 5 when x is -6 or -7. And do you see how now we have created a horizontal line? Oops, let's change that to red. And there we go. So number 10 ended up being a horizontal line. So what do you guys think will happen with number 11? Pause the video and try to graph number 11. And then you can play the video again in order to see the reveal. So here is number 11's reveal. Let's solve the equation for y again. Divide both sides by -2, and we get the equation y equals 7. So that means no matter what x value, y will always be at +7. So y is 7 here, y is 7 here, y is 7 here, and here, etc., etc., etc. So we connect that line, or connect the dots, I mean, to create a horizontal line at 7, where y equals 7. So that means every time when you have an equation that only has a y value, we will always get a horizontal line. Now look at numbers 12 and 13. This time, we don't have any y values. We only have the x values. So what does this mean? We can approach these two problems just like we did numbers 10 and 11. I'm going to solve this for x. So divide both sides by 9, and we can get x equals 0. So that means the x is always at 0 no matter what y value. So when y is 0, x is 0. When y is 1, x is still 0. When y is 2, x is still 0. And it keeps being 0 all the way through, which means this is a vertical line that goes through x equals 0, or the x or the y-axis. Oops. Let's do arrows real quick, and then we're done. So pause the video and try number 13. Where will this line be? Here's a reveal for number 13. If I divide both sides by 6, I'll get the equation x equals 6. So that means x is always at 6, no matter what y value. So when y is 0, x is 6. When y is -5, x is still 6. When y is +9, x is still 6. So I can create a vertical line that goes through x equals 6 right here. And that is the graph for number 13. So what did we learn with these 4 problems today? We learned that when we have only the x in our linear equation, we end up getting vertical lines. When our equation only has a y variable and no x values, we end up with a horizontal line.